is where Nadal, Federer and myself, we go on to next level in terms of tennis and focus. I feel very good on the court, confident, going for the shots, trying to come to the net as well, be more aggressive, use the short balls. Semi-finals of Grand Slam, I'm gonna try to use my experience in being in this kind of matches and get myself tactically prepared. Hopefully I can execute everything I intend to do.
And he's through to his 9th Wimbledon semi-final.
Really enjoyed every single match I played, and well, against Novak, he's the #1 in the world, and he's playing very good on grass, and well, I will have to play very good tennis if I want to beat him.
That will give him confidence. And there's a Spaniard in the semi-finals at Wimbledon, and it's Roberto Bautista Agut.
To play against Roger always is a unique situation. Excited to be back on this court against him after 11 years means a lot. The opportunities to play against each other are less, but we're still here.
Shot of a confident man.
I think I'm playing with a very high intensity, playing aggressive, serving well and returning very well.
Totally exhausting to play against the Spaniard. He has set up the semi-final every neutral wanted to see.
It's going to be tough, you know. Rafa really can hurt anybody on any surface. I mean, he's that good, you know. He's not just a clay court specialist. Overall, I'm just very happy I'm hitting the ball and feel good off the baseline too, which is clearly going to be important maybe for the next match.
Oh, there we are. Brutal forehand.
I don't think we would have thought that Novak, me, and Rafa, all of us, were going to be so solid, so dominant for so many years.
Oh, brilliant! Federer celebrates again. He is into another Wimbledon semi-final.
A very special day at Wimbledon. Welcome to our review of men's semi-finals day, which of course included the reunion after 11 years at the All England club of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. Guaranteed to capture the imagination. Look at the crowds on the hill, making sure they see every single point played out by two of the greatest players of all time. Special scenes, another beautiful day. Otherwise, delighted to have Daniela Hanchikova and Nick McCarville with me once more. OK, going back 11 years to when Rafa and Roger last played that amazing final. Do you clearly remember what you were doing that evening?
Totally. I was just about to finish my practice, went to have dinner from Monte Carlo to San Remo, drove back, and they were still playing.
No way, that whole time?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, but you were living the glamorous life in Monte Carlo and San Remo. Nothing's changed in that regard, except you're with us now.
Pretty much. Yes. No, this is so much better. So.
I was actually at home. I had just graduated college, and I was at home with my parents in Montana. We watched all of. Well, I don't know if we watched the entire match, but I remember watching most of the match at home on television. My mom just texted me. She's in the same living room, watching the TV right now.
OK, well, we will keep you up to date with what is happening in that match. Roger Federer took the first set. Back came Rafa to level things up, but Federer won the third, and he's going to break up in the fourth as well. But the first match on centre court saw the defending champion, Novak Djokovic, facing a man making his first appearance in a Grand Slam semi-final, the number 23 seed, Roberto Bautista Agut, who thought he'd be spending this week on the beach in Ibiza with his stag friends. Slight upgrade being on centre court at Wimbledon. Now, Djokovic clearly had the edge in terms of experience, and he led their head-to-head 7-3. That said, the Spaniard have fought back from a set down to win both their meetings this year in Doha and Miami. A packed centre court proved a fitting venue for their first ever meeting on grass. Commentary comes from John McEnroe and John Inverdale.
Another shot, that forehand. quicker than you think.
Beautifully played.
The 31-year-old Spaniard. He's a gamer. He's a battler. Very well respected because he competes day in and day out.
The forehand error, though.
Yeah, he's understandably tight here early.
He's not a man who'll give much away emotion-wise. You won't know if he's 2 sets up or 2 sets down. He allowed himself 2 vamoses in his quarterfinal against Guido Pella of Argentina, and one of those was when he'd won.
Not a big server, Bautista Agut. Feeling that Djokovic could do this all day.
15-14.
And that's 4 errors on the forehand side already from Bautista Agut, and we're 5 minutes into this semi-final, but you almost feel this is quite a pivotal moment already.
James Djokovic.
Bad mistake there, thinking Novak would give up on that volley hit. Had plenty of room. Should have hit a winner.
And maybe that's why he doesn't come to the net too often.
He's actually not a bad volleyer. Old school approach, beautifully done. And he has really brought his A game so far. Set point already. Been in every service game, broken once. Just 36 minutes.
It was such a good serve, but Djokovic just gets it back relentlessly, unerringly, and the Spaniard goes long, and Djokovic goes to the chair, and that was a very, very impressive 36 minutes. Well, no back at the net, but he was stranded by that one.
Well, you're running a risk when you volley that Bautista Agut forehand. I like his slice on this court better than when he hits with the 2 hands. He set himself up nicely there, finally looking to get himself in the match. No mistake about that shot.
15-13.
Broke a string.
And that, well, it landed in as well, even though, okay, he had a racket without a string in it, but I think he thought it was going long. And
yeah,
so
he did. He was hoping and thinking, more hoping, because he's down 2 break points. Not the best timing for a broken string.
Nah, just briefly there, the Stag Do posse up in the box were on their feet, seeing a possible opportunity for their man. 2 break points for the Spaniard. Djokovic was impregnable for the first set.
First set, Djokovic.
Burned many times by that serve.
And that is the first time in this match that we've seen any emotion from the Spaniard. A slightly apologetic hand pump.
Nothing to be sorry for. Played an excellent set.
Says to the unlikeliest of Wimbledon semi-finalists, they'll give you a bit of a helping hand here. You could even be here on Sunday. Djokovic with a full stretch there.
Well, there was a challenge from Bautista Agut. It was called in. We all thought it caught.
And it did. And that lob over the top seat just wasn't quite good enough and quite authoritative enough.
Still an incredible shot by Djokovic to pull that point out. Excellent defense. Now he's putting the pressure back on the underdog. How did I miss that? He's thinking 107-mile-an-hour serve. He's going to feel good about that point. Continues to volley well.
30-14.
Willing to move forward, try to finish those points in net. It's been a while for this break point. Try to break things open here in the third.
Djokovic sends a message to the other side of the net and to the crowd at large. Did you really think this guy was going to beat me?
Not happy. That's frustrating. frustration.
And that's a very unusual to see him do that as well. He can sense this third set slipping away now, and that was a chance to get back in it.
Makes no mistake there. That's solid. Triple set point. Not quite yet.
Oh, that's how to do it with the aid of the net, as Bautista Agut did at the end of the second set. But Djokovic heading back towards his best, and he's one set away from Grand Slam final number 25. Well in. That's a beautifully played volley.
It absolutely was, and it needed to be. This is a good shot by Djokovic, sliding into that two-hander. Even he says too good. Novak saying, why not do that to provide the break point? Yes. They missed that return by 4 feet.
A really nervy, edgy start to this fourth set. This is a big, big game. If Djokovic was to break here, it might give him the first sight of the finish line. And that was almost a brilliant pickup. Great return from Djokovic, but it just drifted wide from the half volley.
So amazing
the opportunity again,
John, to watch him slide into that backhand and hit it the way he does, make life miserable for his opponent as he did there. What a shot.
Djokovic being hard on himself there, because Bautista Agut hit some great balls there, and as you've been saying, as we've said for 15 years, he just gets everything back. Quarter hours for one Vamos, and two come along back to back. And after 11 minutes of this game, this really, really tight game.
Understandably so at this moment, to pump himself up. Tremendous effort by these two early in the fourth.
Serving and volleying.
First time
in the whole match.
Fourth time the entire tournament. shot. What a game. And a pretty darn good match we were watching. That's going to go long. There's the speed, the athleticism, the defense. The #1 seed forcing Bautista Agut to hit another tough half volley. Hit it up. Beautiful job.
How that backhand? How do you hit a backhand like that?
I wish I knew.
I mean, it was a thing of beauty, and a thing of power, and a thing of amazing precision as well. And suddenly, Novak Djokovic is playing like the Wimbledon champion he is.
That has been 4 times total, inching his way towards another Wimbledon final.
Maybe that was another sign of, I actually don't want another 45-shot rally against Novak here. I'm going to try and finish it rather sooner than I need to. And as a consequence of that, you kind of feel this is almost a match point. Djokovic 2 games away from another Wimbledon final.
Djokovic leads 4 games to 1 in sets, and by 2 sets to 1.
That's forcing.
And the boys from Ibiza are on their feet, almost for the first time in the match. As stag do's go, being in the players' box at Wimbledon is right up there.
Advantage, Djokovic.
Well, what a second serve that was. That took everybody by surprise. For the 5th time, can he finish it off? Yes, he can. Yes, he can. A Lion King-like roar from Djokovic. And everybody said it would be 3 sets, and it ended up being 4. And Bautista Agut played really well, especially in the middle part of that match. But that mid-match wobble aside, the towering figure of Novak Djokovic prepares for yet another Grand Slam final and yet another final here on centre court.
Well, you could see it written all over his face, that mixture of relief, elation. In fact, Daniela, you were talking about the 10 seconds immediately after you've won a match before you go and shake hands with your opponent, when it all just sinks in, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's, I mean, the time where what that you work for as a player. That's those few seconds after a match like that, when you know you overcome yourself, you overcome your opponent, and those are the seconds that you do all the sacrifices ever since you are 5-6 years old and pick up the racket, and it's worth every second of it, because those moments are the ones that are going to stay in your heart forever.
Well, after the first set, it looked as though it was going to be relatively straightforward for Novak, but we should have known better, because Roberto Bautista Agut is so durable. He knows what he's going to do, and he made it very interesting for quite a long time, Nick, thereafter, didn't he?
Yeah, I think maybe Djokovic lost his way a little bit in that second set, but credit to Bautista Agut, who was actually coming in having won their last 2 matches in Doha and Miami this year, and he dug in. Danielle talking about how flat he hits the ball and that Novak doesn't like that kind of ball on this grass surface. And I just thought the way that he fought his way to get to 1 set all, it was the valiant effort we knew that he could put up today, but it didn't really feel like he could go much further. Once Novak dropped that second set, he just went to that next gear, as we saw him do in the quarterfinals against David Goffin. It's just amazing. It blows my mind that these guys just have these gears that we don't know exist, and they continue to tap into them.
Well, the consolation for Roberto is that he can now go on his stag trip, which had to be put on hold, of course. Novak has now won 12 of his last 13 Grand Slam semi-finals. He's through to a 6th Wimbledon final. He's bidding, of course, for a 5th title. How hard is he going to be to stop, irrespective of whether it's Rafa or Roger on Sunday afternoon?
Oh, I mean, it's the way he plays in the first and the third and fourth set, it's pretty much unstoppable. And what kind of tennis he's been showing throughout the tournament, it's been on another level. So no matter whether it's going to be Roger or Rafa, you know, when he plays like that, when he's literally a wall, you know, you don't see a place on the court where his opponents can hit the ball past him. But also, it's so nice to see during the interview after the match, he said how much this still means to him. You know, being in a final of a Wimbledon, it's more special than anything else, and he really appreciates that. He's aware of that it's something he dreamt about ever since he was a little boy. So I think mentally he's just going to be even sharper than he was in his previous matches, and obviously that's going to pick his tennis even more so, if that's actually still possible.
I love watching his body language during the course of matches. There are the highs and the lows. He shows that frustration. He's got the love for the crowd at the end. It's an interesting balance that sometimes maybe he doesn't quite get right.
But you know what? I like that when he shows the emotions, when it's the Serbian Novak, the one that we can relate to, because everyone gets mad, everyone gets tired and nervous. It's more when I feel like sometimes he gets flat and he almost doesn't talk to anyone. That's when I'm in trouble. When he starts to talk to his box and stuff, it's good, because you know everyone needs to get the frustration somehow out there, and that's his way to do it and channel it. And every time he does it, he actually plays his best tennis. So I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, to me, he feeds off of it really well, Djokovic. And you know, I think for a while when he was coming up, maybe he was cast as the villain sometimes because he was this new, fresh face. He liked to do the imitations. He had personality. He was doing fashion shows, and you know, he was not afraid to be himself and be the outcast a little bit. And I think it's been topsy-turvy for him to figure out what's my role in tennis. But you go back to what Danielle is saying in the sense that, yes, I think sometimes he doesn't take to the crowd the best or vice versa, but he loves the competition so much. He loves being the star. He loves being center stage. And today on center court, he was center stage, and he just adores the big wins like that he had today.
Yeah, and just one final thought briefly in terms of the backing of the crowd on Sunday, whether it's Roger or Rafa, he knows he'll have less support. But I think back to a US Open final when 20-odd thousand people were cheering on for Federer, and yet Djokovic got the job done. So presumably that's not going to be too much of a factor?
No, as you said, Nick, he loves that. He likes to be challenged. He likes to be in the center of the heat, no matter whether the crowd is for him or against him. He always somehow finds the way, and that's what is so spectacular about him, because he's deep down under. He's probably, I mean, we can't say the biggest fighter, because obviously Rafa and Roger are just the same, but
he loves the fight.
Yeah, he loves to fight, and I just absolutely love it when the real personality comes out, because it's the Novak we all love.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see plenty more of that passion on Sunday afternoon as Novak looks to add yet another Grand Slam title to his personal tally and move that little bit closer to Roger and Rafa. That's the subplot, of course, one of the fascinating subplots of this stunning era for men's tennis. That's the situation at the moment. Huge crowds continuing to watch Federer against Nadal. Rafa's fighting to stay in the match. He remains a breakdown in the fourth set, trailing by 2-1. But talking of fighters, well, Rafa, he won't hang up the towel until that very last point has been completed. But Novak's into a sixth Wimbledon final. We'll have to wait just a little longer to see who he's going to play.